Let me see. Let me see this shit. There you go. Let's see. We live on this mother sucker.
Oh, I got the notification.
Oh yeah, we live. We live. All right. So, so yeah. So this is Gomez Comic Collector. I'm doing a live show, a little live show of a few comic friends that I known throughout the years, and I'm glad to have them here as hosts, as guests, or whatever you want to say. But we kind of like got this together and wanted to put something together to talk about comic collecting and what you can find out there for really great price or reasonable price compared to what you're paying through secondary markets and everywhere else. We just wanted to show everybody in the community and talk about comics and just shoot the shit. First off, this ain't for this is for people who are over 18 years or older because we're just gonna be talking and we're gonna slur by accident. It's gonna come out regardless. I'm gonna make this shit PG-13. We're just gonna go. So I'm gonna start off and show my first guest. It's Richard, aka Drashear's Comics and Things.
What's up?
Yeah. My second guest is Kingdom Comics.
Oh,
Yes, and then my third guest is J Rod Ham 78.
let's get it.
Let's go. So I'm gonna put all this in this motherfucking panel. And like I said, we're just gonna talk about comics and the stuff that we got and stuff that we've been hunting and kind of grails because we are comic collectors and been grinding for years to collect these comics and yeah, like whoever wants to go first and talk about whatever, go ahead.
Let's let Tito go first. He needs to wake up.
What up?
You know, yeah.
So they gave me an open mic. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know if you guys are really wanting me to go open mic, but what's up? Hope everybody's having a good evening. It is approximately 0 fucking dark 30, right? Hope all is good. Huh? I don't forget how to
Spotlight's on
go
you,
live.
Tito.
I know. It's like all of me, like, hold up, like, yeah, there we go. Let me see everybody else's pretty face. I end up
Yeah.
breaking some cameras around here.
No, like I said, anybody want to talk about anything they've gotten? You know, I'll talk about. I'll start off myself since we get this show on the road, get rolling. I did pick this one up from A1 Comics. It's a Batman 21 0 year. This is the actual first appearance of Duke Thomas, which I haven't heard in a while. But I was thinking this morning that I think this guy's gonna be probably like the next Robin, and I think Damian Wayne's gonna be the next Batman because there's a lot of waves of these new characters coming along, and I think personally Damian Wayne is gonna be the next future Batman, and Duke Thomas is gonna be his right hand man as Robin, but as a different. I think what was his name? If I could recall in my head, if you can think about it, he's called. Well, what his name was is called Duke Thomas, and he had like a 3-part series. But I think this is going to be something in the future, and it's going to be prolonging his story. And they haven't really talked too much about him. And they did on the Dark Knight's Metal a little bit briefly, and in his little run. So I can't wait to get this. I appreciate Mr. Collector 123 coming in, comic book champ, and K Titus. But yeah, what do you guys think of Duke Thomas and in his role in DC and as with Batman?
J-Rod, I'll let you go hit that one, dude.
Bro, I think it's Damian Wayne or nobody else in my opinion, dude. For real, because I mean, I think you kind of see I think DC and Marvel copy each other a lot. You got Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent, and now you have Eddie Brock's son and the Red Goblin's son, right? Kind of joining forces somewhat in some of their titles. So it's a copycat thing. It's like whoever has a better story, better writers, is probably going to succeed in long term. So I think it's Damian Wayne's here to stick around. in my opinion. I think they got something going with him. And Jonathan Kent's starting to pick up too. There's some hype going on now with the what's that miniseries that came out about 4 or 5 years ago, Convergence?
Yeah.
Issue 2 or something like that. So I think DC is trying to really promote those two now, especially what's going on with Miles Morales, the younger characters. So I think it's Damian Wayne. And Damian Wayne is the full real deal, man. He's the future for I think for DC, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Gomez, I actually bought that book.
What you guys' thoughts are?
I actually bought that book probably 4 years ago because I wanted because Capullo and Snyder showed up to a fan expo. I forgot what year. J-Rod.
Tito Frozen? For anyone else?
Dallas?
It's all right though. Books on tape. Keep talking.
I don't see Tito's hand moving. I hear him.
Yeah, he looks like he's picking his nose to me.
He left. I think something probably went on. No, he was saying that he picked it up about a year ago, but like I don't know. I think you're absolutely right when it comes with the aspect of what's going on with the kids of Superman, kids of Batman and Marvel doing almost the same thing, and it kind of like left Duke Thomas at a like kind of a third party. So there he goes. He's back. He's back. He's back. There he is. There he is.
You're back. You're good. Except I can't hear you.
Only in it for 5 minutes.
I don't want to see him yet.
But so I don't know if you heard me.
Is
but
this what you guys have been using StreamYard for the live shows?
Yeah, usually it works pretty smooth, but sometimes it depends on the area where you're at. So, but you were saying,
probably. I'm assuming everybody's like on Pornhub or X videos right now, so they're like killing all my streaming services.
But you're saying you picked up that book about a year ago at a con?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. I got that book. You all right?
I see you. I hear you.
No, I bought that book 4 years ago to get Capullo and Snyder to sign it. And I think it was at a Fan Expo, probably about Fan Expo 17 or 16. And I just decided not to do it. I just kept it. That's one of those books that just did not make the list of, gold labels for me. Maybe it'll make it again. I got like a half a short box of like windowed out books that was supposed to be prepped for signatures that I never made it.
On IG about that, right? Of window books you had still just chilling and you showcasing.
Yeah, that was, bruh, that year. Oh my God! So that was MegaCon. Rich, what was that? MegaCon 18 or 7? No, 8. It was either 18 or 7.
It was 18. It was 18.
And that was the super A-list MegaCon to go to. And dude, they had Jock, they had Perillo, they had Matina, they had just everybody there. And I don't know what it was, but I think I passed that one up to go to Dragon Con. And I regretted it ever since because I've yet to see Jock. I've yet to see Matina. Like, it's just.
Yeah,
those the following year, Matina got banned.
From what I heard, you heard about the Peach Momoko situation. So Tim, shout out to Tim, the comic collector, the Canadian comic collector. He posted it on IG of the swaps, the cover swaps, and I was never aware of it, to be honest, till he posted that. But Matina got bashed. I think the worst out of anybody when it came to cover swipe.
Matina was like straight up tracing shit.
Yeah.
If you look at what he did.
Well, I mean, they will all bounce back. Like all of them will bounce back. But the tracing, the copying, the pasting, all that's been going on for decades.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
from Neil Adams to George Perez,
You can look at Golden
all
Age.
of them.
So many Golden Age books are copying pulps. Like it's gone on forever.
and what's funny is if I remember right, Tim did like 3 posts about it, if I remember right.
yeah.
And there was actually a discussion with Matina about Matina. And they're like, how was Matina's books affected by, the claims and the accusations? And to be honest with you, I haven't kept up. From what I understand, they took a little dip, but not like super low dip.
Right.
And but then you also got to remember, there's still somebody who's pretty prevalent in the comic industry right now that actually has a super, super expensive variant of a first appearance that got caught tracing years ago too. Yeah, I'm looking at you. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm looking dead at you. Looking right there.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
That's all you get. That's all you get.
No, yeah, I heard about the artists.
But so it really depends on what the market wants. Yes, he got clowned, and yes, he got outed. He got super outed, but so did Greg Land. Greg Land got super outed too.
Yeah,
But he just persevered and kept on going. Now the thing that Matina, from what I've seen, is that Matina still does it. How do I say it? He was doing it after he outed. Now, was it because like all those covers were coming out during the same time period and they were already ready to go to get published, and you can't take them back by then? So, but from what I understand now, I haven't heard anything about Matina currently as of this year. Yeah. Well, when did Garner get mad? Garner got mad
I don't think it was that long ago.
Was it this year?
It might have been this year, beginning of the year, maybe.
Yeah, Alex Garner got mad with the Nova and his Flash, So if they could bounce back, it's just whether or not they stop and make it so obvious.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like it depends on them. They have to come up with their own creativity. If they don't and they keep doing it, of course they're not gonna get as much like people buying their variants and people wanting to get their art because of that. Because for a real true collector collecting comics in a way, so to speak, that I'm getting this variant and notice that it's not his original art, it's hard to enjoy something knowing in the back of your mind when you see a comic book cover or whatever, and knowing that it's been plagiarized or copyrighted through something else. So it's hard. It's hard, and that's what happened. Goes on to, like I said earlier, about Peach Momoko. It's like I'm not a big fan of her myself. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really like.
I'm not either. I don't have any of her books.
Oh.
I don't really care for her.
I don't either, and I don't. I think it's just a hype thing, just like any first appearance key that comes out or anything. It's just a big hype that sometimes
it's just like everything else in this. It's just like everything else in this market right now. It's all reactionary. People see what the next hot book is, and then they have to throw all their money at it, or the next hot artist. It's so reactionary now in this market.
Yeah. And it's tough. It's tough as a collector because, and that's
you got something to say.
J-Rod, go.
And look like Tito doing one of Matina's cover swipes.
J-Rod, you got something to say?
I think Tito's reacting to Batman 22 and 23. Is that the reaction you give him there?
Hey, I don't know, man. They might get a screenshot of me and post it on their Instagram, with a new profile or something.
What do you think?
What do you think? What do you think,
That
J.
pissed me
Rod?
off when that happened last week and a half because that book came out 15 years ago, and you want to say you've done all this research. You did all this research to find that out. Well, evidently you didn't have that book 15 years ago. I've got the damn book. I don't care for the character too much, so but whatever. But I mean, I just thought it's been way blown out of proportion.
That's what I'm saying. People just jump on whenever the new hot book is.
Struck gold, or I don't know. It just the way it's being pushed by those certain people. Like I don't get it. Whatever.
Yeah, and I used to be that.
Batman Beyond #1's the book to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what, like I said, like it's one of those. It's a FOMO thing. It's like you want to collect the next hot thing, but noticing you buy it right on eBay, or you buy it like when someone has it on an auction or IG for triple the value of the price. When you know you go to the LCS next day and you find that book for a fraction of that price, and it upsets you as a collector in a way, and it teaches you to just be patient. Be patient.
A lot of people too think they're speculating, but if you're buying the book after it's hot, then you're not speculating. You're just pumping up the book at that point.
And that's one thing about me is like I wish I had more time. I've said it numerous times to read and able to understand the stories behind these books. I think that's what we lose out as collectors is we collect the book, but do we actually read the book? Do we actually have our time? And that's one thing that's tough for us. But there's people who read, there's people who collect for variants and cover. So it's just the thing about collecting. First appearances. I started like sitting down and actually reading like first appearance books and see why it is or how did they enter to that comic.
I had a whole series on my channel based on that, looking in key issues and reading them and going over them.
Yeah, you used to do that, and you did
unlocking the key.
Yeah.
But
that was awesome.
All right, you done did it now. You done did it now. You done fucked up. All right,
Go ahead.
All right, so we'll touch on Batman 2223 a little bit because I know J. Rod, that's his favorite books, and he done paid $153.22 plus $23 in shipping on eBay. I mean, I love you, dude. He didn't really do that. He ain't that dumb. Now, and to anybody that did do that, I'm not calling you dumb. I'm just. All right, so here, check this out, right? So, do I give credit to Strange Blade, Batcave Comics, and that whole crime syndicate for bringing out information that was available to everybody, right? But because not everybody reads the books, or if they read the books, those books came out years ago.
Exactly.
And typically, when you think about first appearances or money books, there's a couple of variables that have to be lined up perfect to be a big book, right? So, and I'll go with the big one of the cameo, whatever, right? It's 180 and 181. All right, you have cameo first appearance, not a big book and a big book, right? And one of the biggest difference, aside from the interiors, is the cover, right? When you think about one of the variables to make it a big money book, it is the cover. Is it a nice looking cover? And if it's not a nice looking cover, then what is that Rogue? That bill number XX? I forgot. I bet you that book would be so much more if Rogue was on the cover, or if it was a better cover, but with like 4, 6 different panels. Some people like it, but if Rogue was actually on it, it is Rogue, right?
Yeah, it's Rogue.
Yeah, it's Rogue.
There it is, right there.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So, like, if Rogue was center stage, sitting right there in the front, doing a cool like Rogue pose, I bet you that book was 3 times more than what it is now. But because of that cover, it's just detracts from the possible money. It's hard to explain. I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. But Batman Annual number 4, Batman Superman or Superman Batman Annual number 4, it's a
Nice
great
cover.
looking fucking cover. It's
Art Germ,
yeah,
right?
Art Germ.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, Art Germ. You have old Superman with Batman Beyond, and like younger Superman with Batman in the foreground, right, sitting in the back. I bet you all didn't notice that, but yeah, the younger versions of themselves are in the background. Just a gorgeous cover. Batman Beyond's on it. No other book before then was Batman Beyond on the front cover other than Batman Beyond number 1.
Right.
And because we live in a society of laziness, let's put it out there, we're lazy. You know, a lot of folks don't have their books open because it's no longer a near mint plus, near mint, gem mint. They don't know what the hell is going on. So yes, J-Rod, 15 years ago, I get it. But who in the hell read Superman, Batman 23 and 22 15 years ago with a damn bizarro Batman and Superman flying down? Nobody, because nobody cared because that cover. See, I told y'all need to mute me because I'm about to like put everybody on blast.
No, it's just talking comics, man.
Great research. Thank you for bringing it back out to what was already available, but because everybody was focused on that Batman Beyond cover of Superman and Batman Annual 4, everybody kind of forgot about that. And then the 4 other books, I don't care. I honestly don't care.
Considered what, a cameo, right? Or nothing.
Well, Superman Batman number 22, it is a cameo. Right. There is some, well, here's where it all gets iffy. Yeah. There's a name drop in there. The name drop is what screws the whole variable up. And I was talking to Strange Blade on the side. Yeah. You know, you have one source, you know, one licensed DC source say one thing, another licensed DC source saying another thing, and we have us dumb collectors just arguing amongst ourselves, trying to figure out, no, this is it. No, this is it. No, this is it. And we were looking like dumbasses because like we're just not knowing anything what's going on until DC comes out and says, look, you fucktard idiots, this is what we're going to say. And once we say it, you're going to have the other side, whichever side, Annual 4 or 22, just raising a bitch fit. But you know what? DC won't say that because they're making money. Retailers are making money. Resellers are making money because they're not saying anything. Once they say something, money stops, right? People go label hunters like me, right? We're no longer going to go to a convention and get X and X to sign 22 and get a gold label. That's $20 out of their pocket, right? So it all boils down to money. I would be very surprised if DC actually came down and said, this is it, because you're taking money from people's pockets.
Yeah, I don't think they will, because not a handful of people will make the change.
I don't think DC would care to do it regardless. It's such a little thing that only a small sect of collectors actually give a shit about.
Yeah.
Well, I understand.
You just said it.
Well, no, I understand their motive, and that's to inform, right? But some people don't care because they don't care about the character. But if you kind of look at it objectively and say, all right, we got fraud collector app. I'll throw that out there. Fuck it. I don't give two shits, right? You got comic fraud and fraud collector app who puts out information, right? But they rely on other people to, you know, type in the information and put it in there. And if they make a mistake, they come back and, you know, you got to take pictures and this and that. Now the big scream, hi-yo type stuff is, like I said, it's kind of like three-folded, right? You have one property saying one thing, another property saying another thing. You have Strange Blade and his crew saying what they're saying. You have Comic Fraud and, you know, Fraud Collector app saying another thing, and there's clashing. Look at all the evidence, you would tend to agree with Strange Blade, but until DC officially comes out and says something, get all the books if you're a Batman Beyond fan, like all
exactly,
all
exactly.
Figure it out from there. J-Rod, what you got?
Or get the most sought after book. Oh man, I picked this one up. Was it Thursday night? There's a second printing right there. The second printing craze going on. Got it for cover price. I called the shop, and I know it had been sitting there for like over a month. So I called them Thursday night, and they still had it. So I went to go pick it up, and he held it for me. This book all of a sudden blew up. Mercer not dropped the video Thursday night.
Yeah.
And this was on his thumbnail. Yeah, it was on his thumbnail. And all of a sudden, this book's like a $40, $50 book. It's second printing. That's the thing right now.
Is that his first cover appearance? Is that why? Or why is that book heated up?
I think you know what? All these second prints that Venom and Thor, they're all hidden up because first of all, they're lower print runs. And like I said, I was telling before we got on live, I couldn't find the Thor issue 2 third print anywhere. I called 5 shops, none of them had them.
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
So I think the fact that they're lower print run got them. So that's the thing. That's a hot thing for Marvel right now is the second and third printings on their best books, like Venom, Stranger Academy. Now it's taking into that shape now too with their second prints. That stuff's selling now too. And now you got Thor. I don't know what other second prints from Marvel are hot right now besides those 3 titles.
And they did that really crazy too as well when it came to print run, like Thanos 13 through 18.
Yeah,
they had that same situation. When Donny Cates was writing it, and all these other prints. And see, the bad thing about buying those prints, you get lucky with that Venom 3, okay, the third print, whatever. To me, I understand because it's a low print, but back when we were collectors, the first print was the money book, no matter what, because that was first printed issue that was out there, and that was the actual. Now you got all these other issues coming out with, same issue coming out with these prints, and it's tough as a collector because if you're a diehard Venom fan or diehard Thor or Thanos, you're gonna get all these variants, collect them, and have them in your PC or whatever. It's hard because you're spending $30 to $40 on one book, and it's me personally. That's just my opinion.
You saw what they just did, right? That Venom number 25 second print wraparound cover.
Yeah,
they got a third print coming out of it, but now it's a 1 in 25 ratio.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I saw that. I laughed, and I bought me.
Like in August, so I don't know how the hell they're gonna base that on a 1 in 20.
But that was just like the Immortal Hulk. See, Marvel's doing that just like the Immortal Hulk. They did that 1 in 25 second print wraparound, and I was like, really? It's like I was glad just to have the issue myself. You know, just when it came out, Tito stayed quiet.
Rick, what's your thoughts?
But that's Marvel making money, though. Is the way I look at it too, though.
I don't know. I haven't been following the recent market because I'm so frustrated by how reactionary everything is. How there's a new hot book, a new hot second print every other week. The next book that everyone has to have for whatever reason. I don't know. I've been being patient with my pickups recently, and I'm looking back in time rather than I don't know. I'm a collector of opportunity. I don't really hunt for a particular book. I hunt for whatever falls into my lap, essentially.
Everybody's different when it comes to collecting, I think, and I collect a little bit of both. I'm not gonna say I don't do none because I do collect, and then when I see a book, I'm like, oh, you know, I just picked up Thor number 1 second print. I was like, because I don't have that actual cover. I was like, oh, just to reread it because I had some other ones, so I picked it up just me out of nostalgia, and I talked to J-Rod about it, and I just picked it up, and I don't know. And then a lot of times I don't even pick up new books, and I'll go in the back issues because these are comic shops that I haven't been into in a while, and I just picked up. Let's see if I have it around here. I don't know if I have. I showed it. I just picked this one up just the other day. Didn't know he had it, and I was happy.
The Sado variant.
Yeah, and he had it, and I could have got 3 copies of this because one guy had it for 10. I didn't pick it up because I had it already, and I just picked up this up to my second. But Dakin is another quiet Wolverine son that no one really talks about. He does have a short story, told story, and he's into this origin, the origin a little bit afterwards. So yeah, that's one guy that's a sleeper, and when it comes to Wolverine.
So I already know I don't read comics in a while. Jashir, you literally said you haven't gone to an LCS. So J-Rod, do you read comics?
Oh, I got a weekly pull list, man. Yeah.
All right. So your weekly pull list, does it consist of Venom and Thor?
Here's my pull: Venom for Marvel, Venom, Thor. Now it's Strange Academy.
Yes, it's another one.
Immortal Hulk. Those are probably and the X-Men book from Hickman. Those are my only pulls from Marvel. For DC, Superman, Action, Batman, Detective, Flash, the Dark Knight's Metal stuff right now. I have more DC in my pull than Marvel because Marvel has too many damn titles. And like 80% of it's just not good. So yeah, I do have.
Okay. So when we talk about collectors, and if we were to give you a title, what type of collector are you?
Who, me or who?
J-Rod.
Oh, J-Rod.
Me, I'm a hunter and a collector. I'm both.
Yeah.
And I'll flip stuff too to supply the hobby. So I'm all three if you want to look at it that way.
Fucking resellers.
No,
Rich knew that was coming. Rich was like, "Well, here it goes."
I mean, but, yeah, I mean, it's the truth. I mean, like hell, why am I going to sit on a comic book that I have extra copies of if somebody's willing to pay this much for it?
Yeah.
So you're an opportunist.
I'll buy something else with the hell. But all of the above. Like if I need some Mylars and I don't want to come out of pocket, let me flip this book. There, I got my damn Mylars. Stuff like that. Supply the hobby.
If you have the time to do it, do it. If it's part of your hobby and part of you read too, so it's not like you're just doing that. You're doing that. You're flipping to buy a book that you want.
You saw those. You saw those slabs that Jashir showed earlier. Are you gonna keep those forever? Because we don't live forever. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care half of them after I'm done. They're mine.
No, yeah, and that's what it is. It's just,
we'll touch resellers later because that's like a sensitive subject for me. So J-Rod, let me ask you a question. And I was thinking about this, actually when I was watching. The fuck was I just watching? Days of Future Past, because Chris Claremont, if you didn't know, was in that movie. He was a congressman, right? So I was thinking about Chris Claremont and what I guess other people might think that Donny Cates is this version or this decade or this age of Chris Claremont. Because all I'm hearing from collectors and readers is, man, Donny Cates can write a fucking story, right? Is that a true statement or is that a bad statement?
No, that's a true statement. But he hasn't done it long enough yet for Marvel to be compared to Claremont.
Right.
With X-Men. Yeah.
Right. 17 years on X-Men. So I'm thinking Null, right? So let's go back to all the first appearances that blew up under Cates' his tenure, right? You had Null, you had the resurgence of Thor number 2, Cosmic Ghost Rider, the resurgence of number 2 of Thor. Who's that? And that's Gore or Butcher or some shit.
I got the Gore, the Butcher. Silver Surfer Black kind of blew up because of Noel and the second print covers that blew up too.
So let me ask you this, because I was thinking about this. All these books are expensive, right? Let's be real. You got $800 to $1,000 that people are spending on that Venom 3 third print. Insane money to buy a book, but that's your money. You do whatever you want with it, right? Donny Cates is actively writing, and he will incorporate those stories until he's off of them.
Right.
Do you think, in your experience, in your history, once Donny Cates is off that title, those books are no longer going to be as relevant as they are with him on the title?
Oh, they'll go down in price once he's off the title. And think about it, how long do these writers stay on these books, and how long do these books actually have runs like they did back when Claremont did his X-Men stuff? They're always rebooting stuff these days. But I think the reason why Cates is on fire now is, who else you got in Marvel?
Well, you got Al Ewing.
Yeah, he's doing Immortal Hulk, but this stuff's not blowing up like when Immortal Hulk started, it blew up real quick. The first 12, 13 issues.
Yeah,
because kind of settled down now.
But that was based.
For some reason, Cates' stuff blows up.
Now, let me ask you this, because I'm not really into speculation, but I have like my own thought process, and I have like 3 other people here that can say, Tito, you're fucking insane and crazy, right? So do you think?
I mean, you are.
Yeah. So do you think it is just because Donny Cates is on the title that there's possible speculation that these characters or future characters will come about because we have this guy that's literally like making new characters up almost every 3rd issue? And that's why
I think it's good.
A lot of these prices are going up.
Yep. I think it's because of the new characters. I mean, we've got the same characters, so you got to come up with new ideas. And maybe they're giving him free hand to do whatever he wants with these titles, and they're just letting him have at it right now. And I guess it's working out for Marvel, and it's working out for him. The only title that he's worked on for Marvel that really didn't quite blow up was Guardians of the Galaxy. He did like 11, 12 issues for him, and that one didn't blow up like Venom and Thor is right now.
Now, I just have a sneaky suspicion that once Cates is gone, those books are not going to be relevant anymore.
You mean no one's going to look at them the same way they look at them now?
Price-wise, they won't be like they were. They won't be the same price.
I don't think writers, because writers like to bring in their own story. They like to bring in past stories that they like and kind of expand on them.
Yeah,
make it their own. And make them their own. So once Donny Cates is gone, and then you have pretty much the planet of the symbiotes. That's how I look at it, is the planet of symbiotes, is that is no longer going to be a focal point in the next writer's agenda or his future stuff. So I just kind of look at the prices of the Knowles and the Dylan Brocks and just like, man, please don't buy it that much. Please don't buy it that much. Just wait. If you got to wait 2 to 3, 4 years,
people are
then
impatient.
So be it.
People have no patience for finding books nowadays. At least I say the majority of these top 10 watchers and everything. There's no patience. They need to have it right now. Instant gratification.
Yeah. That's true.
And I think, J-Rod, you said it on one of your posts or videos that don't cry because you went to an LCS and there wasn't the book that you're looking for. Don't cry. That's kind of your fault. Make a pull list. Get those books on board.
That's right.
Don't wait till the last minute to see a top 10 or see a spec review site or a video that comes out and say, hey, fucking, this book right here, make sure you get it. And by the time you get it, fucking the retailers already don't watch your video. They got the notifications on their listings. It's already on eBay by the time you get there, even though it'll say they sold out. No, bitch, it's on eBay, on their eBay web store. We're getting ready to sell out. So
they'll post them Tuesday night. That's what they'll do. They'll post them on Tuesday night before they open up the shops on Wednesdays. Exactly what they do.
Yeah, I got IG comic store that I follow. He posts his variants on Tuesday before they release on Wednesday, and selling them at a reasonable price. And you either get them then or wait to your comic store. But if you don't get them then, you go to a comic store and you don't have shit out of luck, and you go back to that person, the person already sold out. And so it's just like you said, the comic store won't have that variant because no one wanted that variant or whatever. But then again, it's like that's how they make their income.
Yeah,
it's just. I'm sure I can't be the only one that walked into LCS and overheard some chatter the night before and be like, man, let me go look at this book and see what's going on. And that book is gone.
The worst is when you go through back issues and they have no price, and you go there and they tell you a price when you get there.
It's gone to the point where I'm afraid to call LCS not to look for a particular issue that came out 2 or 3 months ago.
I never do that
because they're gonna say, why did this person call for it, and they're gonna look it up, and then when you get there, oh, it's this much now.
No, I never shop owner starts looking up the price of books amount.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
it's just back to the original point is that especially Venom, because Venom is like stupid money right now, like stupid money. And one of the things that I could attribute to it is Donny Cates. Once Donny Cates is gone, is those characters still going to be spotlighted like they are now?
Well, I think that blew up, Tito, in combination with what you just said because of Donny Cates and Venom. But the fact that Marvel produces so many titles and it hurts the LCSs. Like I said, they got like 4 or 5 books I think that are spot on fire for them, but the rest of their stuff is like they got too many titles related to the main title, too many X titles, too many Avengers related titles, stuff like that, and that hurts the shops, man. You find all that stuff in dollar bins a few months later. You don't have to pay the $4 cover price for the pull list for that stuff. Just wait, and you'll see the half price books or their back issue bins for those particular those X titles and Spider-Man titles. There's just so many of them now. And comic books are getting cheaper. What, they're $4.99 now most these days? $3.99?
Well, I don't even know.
What's that?
$2.99 at this one. I got this for $1. So I mean,
see, that's a good read. I read the first issue.
That's why I picked it up.
Yep.
Before you got on the chat, I was talking to the guys, and I went to the store and bought some books, and they brought this to my attention, and in the back of my head, I was like, I remember this being a hot book not too long ago.
Yeah.
And they had it for $1, and they're like, you want to try to read it? And I was like, Scott Snyder and Charles Soule. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll try to read it. And then what they really got me on was post-apocalyptic. That's like my shit. That's the type of stuff I like to read. And once I found that out, I was like, that bang got me. And it's a great read. From what I understand, I think Gomez was saying it's on issue 6 right now.
Yeah,
so I just got to go back.
You know how Image does like little hiatuses. So Image on their titles, they do like they stopped at issue 6 and they'll start back up again here in a few months.
Okay.
So they stopped at issue 6 right now.
Yeah, so I'll go back and pick it up, but I won't.
So you're not far behind.
Yeah, I won't go back until whenever I go back to that job site. Hey, Rich, what do you think about Venom?
Stuff. Oh yeah, what do you think about Venom?
I don't really care. I mean, I don't know.
Do you have ASM 300 in your collection?
Yeah. I've sold a lot of them too because like I have interest in it for a while, and I'm like, I don't really care that much. Now I have a low grade copy that's like I'm fine with it. I can flip through it when I want to flip through it. It's not a it's not a Grail book for me. It's part of my ASM run.
Do you think it'll stay consistent, the price?
ASM 300?
No, this Venom run that Cates is doing.
I don't know. I think it might. I don't think it has the longevity a lot of people want to think it does.
I had to step out and buy some strawberries real quick.
Some big ass strawberries, dude.
We're talking comics. Gomez got a strawberry haul.
Yeah.
My door, I was like, what the heck? So yeah, got it at third print value Venom.
Hey, you're bringing up Venom, Tito. What about Punchline?
Look, I'll be straight up honest with you. I don't care about none of this new shit.
Okay.
I don't care because, well, I have my issues with Donny Cates, so that limits anything that he deals with. I don't fuck with. Like everything that's being pumped out. So this is how psychotic my mind works, right? They're sitting at a round table at whatever publisher's office, and like, are you looking at this market right now? Do you see what they're doing with new characters and first appearances? Let's start doing that. All right. So they, with the little devil horns, like, we got a first appearance, all right, and start making Punchline. In 2 years, if that, that'll be a dollar bin book. I promise I will find it in 2 years. You could quote me on that.
Yeah, okay. They
Half-price books,
have
right
here.
Half-price books, watch.
Oh, I believe it.
Huh?
I'm waiting to find it in back issue bins because I fully believe you'll find it there. Yeah.
The publishers, in my eyes, are playing the speculators, the resellers, the customers, the readers. They are playing us like a fool. That's how I see it. Straight up, honest. That's what I can't really get behind.
That's
I find it a dollar bin.
That's basically why I haven't been picking anything up either. I'm basically on the same page as you there.
Yeah, I understand that, but that's what J-Rod, go back to what J-Rod said. That's why he has those books in the pull list. Yeah, you have your issue with them, not a case, whatever, but J-Rod reads it, so he's gonna get the pull list to get those books.
I mean, yeah, that's the way to do it if you actually care about this stuff.
Yeah, and if you like you guys said earlier in the chat before I went to go step and get what I had to get, I understand. Like me, it's like if I wanted a book, well, Batman's back in my pull list. I took it off, and then when I seen where it was going, and I figured I want to try to get it so I can read it when I get a chance. When I get a chance, I'll put it on my pull list. So I put it on my pull list.
Let me ask you this, Gomez.
All right.
I'm gonna put you on the spotlight.
That's fine.
So you took it off. You took Batman off your pull list.
Yeah.
Did you take it off before Punchline?
No.
Oh, you pulled it after Punchline.
No, I did. My bad. I did it right when King stopped. And I said, okay, about issue 8. I started taking it back. I did like an issue 81 or 82 before King finished because I was going through some stuff where I had to cut down my pull list because I was going through some changes in situations during that time frame. I'm talking about like about a year ago. It's right about because it's probably done about 12 issues since I stopped. And they've been doing it monthly now. They used to do it bi-weekly and then they stopped. They did it monthly. And that's when I kind of stopped when they were doing monthly, and I had to take some time off. But when I heard about the story that what was this writing the story right now? I forgot. When I heard about how his story, when his story was going, I think it was issue 87 or no 90, issue 88 or 90 was coming out, 88, and I put on my pull list. But when I put on my pull list, I got 88, and when I think the 89, the first print, right, the first appearance. They didn't hold it for me because I missed the FOC. the free cutoff point, whatever the comic. Okay, but if I told you to pull this in 88 or 87 or whatever issue it was when I got 87, because I was going back to collecting it again, and I was going to get those comics later if I could find my other comic shops or whatever. So when 89 came, he didn't pull it for me. Well, wait a second. I told you about a month and a half ago that I want it back on my list, and he said because you missed. So then when I went there, it was on the wall, and he had it for $25, $30.
I call bullshit on that. He just wanted to sell it for a higher price.
Oh, so that's for me as a collector and as a reader. Supposedly, when I get a chance to read, because I looked at that book and I looked at the wall and it was there. I'm like, why didn't I get it? Oh yeah. Well, okay, fine. If you have 4 copies there for sale, you can't give me one. A person that's been going to your shop off and on for over 5 years and did pull this off and on for certain comics and issues. And now so I got my pull list. I said, give me my pull list. So he gave me my 4 or 5 comics on my pull list that day. I said, here you go. He said, what do you mean? I'm not buying these. I'm not coming to your store no more. I've been a loyal customer for you for X amount of years, and you didn't like this, knowing you know who I am when I come to your shop. And then he was saying that I was trying to resell it, this and that, and I was hunting because of the first appearance of Punchline or Cameo now, and I'm like, you don't even know me. I don't come in and buy 4 or 5 copies.
What's all that even matter if it's on your pull list? Like, who the fuck cares what you do with it?
Yeah, exactly. So then I haven't stepped to that shop since that day when it comes to that comic, but I just wanted to get it just to read it. But it goes down to showing that there's about like 8 different comic shops, but now probably 3 because of COVID. It's like some of those things where, so that goes to that around that time frame I did add it off and then went back on it. Did I answer your question?
So no, you gave an example of what I think would be a perfect world, because what I thought you were going to say was, yes, I pulled it for Punchline and I activated it after. That's what I thought you were going to say, and then I was going to go to J-Rod over here and talk about. Now we're getting into that situation where it's now become not so much of pulling because you want to read, but pulling because you want to get more first appearances, or or FOMO because you missed something the first time around and you don't want to miss it again. So now you're just giving money just to give money in hopes to get something.
And see, the thing goes with Batman, I can't go wrong. That's something I will read. So I'm a win-win situation. If I get it or not, as long as I get my Batmans later down the line, I'll find that book. Eventually, I got the issues I was missing, and that comic that I was missing prior that I didn't get because I started at 88 and I was missing 85, 86, 87, and some other one. It was around that range. I got them all for like $5 each, $5 to $7 each. So yeah, I did pay a little extra. But if I rounded it off, but I did end up getting that book in that category. So I didn't pay no $40 for one book. I paid $35, $40 for 4 or 5 books plus that book was included. So it kind of like, I did pay a little extra if you think about it. But it's, in the long run, I don't have to worry about it. Like not finding it. Again, it goes saying that you're gonna end up finding in a dollar bin or whatever, and then I'm coming with the 3rd print. 2nd print, 4th print, and same with Hell Arisen. That's another one that was a big book that everybody didn't know about. It was low print.
Rich, are you reading the chat?
Not really.
Anybody reading the chat? Like,
nah, I'm on my phone.
I'm the one looking at it, but I'm not reading it. My bad. Everybody, my phone on it.
Hey, we got any questions?
Well, they might be cussing me out. I want to hear their thoughts.
No, they're not cussing you out. They're more likely talking about like almost picking up like one comic edition said about Power Rangers being a $7.99 book that just released, and I've seen it at the LCS myself 2 days ago. I think that book was a high price for a first comic or comic. I think it was like Power Ranger Slayer or something like that. And
That's
but like I
also
said,
why I don't have a pull list, is because of the cost of new books now. It's like I dropped
yeah,
$200 on a pull
man.
list. Yeah, it's like I'd rather just save it and have it for when I find something that's that I actually want.
but no, like I said, like go back to the chat. I appreciate everybody stopping by and actually were in the comments. I apologize if I didn't call you guys out. Like I said, I don't do this shit often, so I don't know. I don't know my. Then again, it's one of those things where we're just doing this just to community talk. And I'll rewatch this and see the comments. And like I said, I did say hello to a few people that stopped by. Comics Edition, he got freaking issue, Mr. Grego, Comic Magnesians. Who was it? Was it comics? Was it? Was it? My bad. It's a Mr. Collector 123. K Titus, who always stops in. Silver Age Dave, Tat Comics.
Silver, Mr. Dave. Man, hold.
Yeah, so.
Hold. If you guys haven't watched Silver Age Dave, if you're not subbed, you need to go sub to him. Probably just like the most kindest dude you would know. Like, this dude is like super cool. Like I fuck with him. He is a good dude. And like, I don't know why he like talks to me in the chat, because I'm like way left field compared to him. But man, if you haven't subbed him up, you need to go sub him up. Good dude.
And his collection's amazing. His collection's amazing.
Yeah, real great collection, and a lot of Silver Age, Bronze Age books, Golden Age. It's just
variant.
Yeah.
You know who? Oh, dude, you know, nobody likes to compare, right? Nobody likes to play the versus game. But imagine Vincru versus Silver Age Dave comic collection.
Oof. Man.
Bro, that would be an intense showcase right there.
Yes. Yeah, and it takes years. To collect what we can get grails and stuff like that. And it all depends on how you want to collect too. It's like for instance, like I think me and Joshua were talking the other day, we were talking about if you want a certain book, you have to cut your collect of going to comic shops and getting these certain books for a few, because some of those grails are expensive and you got to learn how to manage your money wisely. And it's hard. Even trying to get a big book, I try to cut myself when I go into the LCS for a week.
It's not easy when Tito sends you links to books all the damn time. Oh, look at this collection. It's like, I'm not trying to buy anything right now.
And then he goes and buys it. I'm like, bro, I didn't want you to buy anything. I was just showing you just to show you.
Like, don't show me if it's a good deal.
One last thing we wanted to talk about, because we're running about almost an hour, is we want to talk about is comic book collecting, and to not jump on the bandwagon or jump on the books when they're hot, because you can find those at a real great price or reasonable price, or by being patient or just waiting for the right time. And if you guys want to showcase those and talk about those books, last thing, we can go ahead and do it if you guys want. It's up to you guys. Whatever you guys want to do, because I know you guys want to talk about those books that you guys found at like half price books, or like just being patient when the book dies down and you get it at
I'm in the firm belief that every book or modern book right now these days is meant to be found. Like, you'll come across it.
I think you can find any book. It doesn't even have to be modern. I think you can find any book if you're patient enough.
Well, I don't have your kind of luck. That's why I said modern. Like, especially the hot book stuff right now, the last 5-10 years, they're meant to be found. Half-price books, dollar bins. Somebody's always selling a collection somewhere, so you're gonna find it.
Yeah, and
that's what I believe.
And that's where I go. You go offer up or let go, and I've been talking about those before. those are two apps that you can find people collecting. Another way of doing it is if you really want to get a collection and dig through some stuff and see if it's reasonable to buy, is even doing a Craigslist and saying, "Now I buy comics." If you, and then they'll hit you up, they'll give you a box and say, $40. You could find Cherokees in that if you do something like that. It just takes time. Yes, it takes time to do that, and you have to have that time. If you don't have time like me, I don't have that time. I wish I did, but I would love to do a lot of that stuff in the future, and to find hidden gems because of like this book. This book, for instance, I got two of these. I didn't think I was ever going to own this, and it was a fair price. But I think me and Drasher talking about. Oh, he was mentioning that he never finds this book in a while, and I was lucky to find. I actually bought one on eBay, and then like about 2-3 days, about a week later, I bought one at a comic shop on a wall book, and he was able to work a price. And that's the thing about comics is if you see a price on the tag, that's a price they base on. You can always see if they'll go a little lower and to save some dough. That's how I feel.
Everything is negotiable.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So just the price.
You can even find deals online though. Like you don't even have to have to rely on Craigslist or any of this stuff. You could, if you know some basic search terms online, you can find anything. Like I showed this before. I $2.32 into this book plus shipping because I found a website that had it.
I'm still pissed about that one.
I mean, you can find any. You just gotta look for it. It's
so
all.
Let me ask you this, Rich. That Green Lantern 55, right? You went to the website. Were you specifically looking for that book, or how long did it take you on that website and be like, "Oh shit, what is this?"
Oh, I spent a few hours, and I wasn't looking for this particular book. I was just going through because I noticed it was a site I'd never heard of, and I scrolled down. I was like, "Oh, that's something. Throw that into my cart. Buy it right now." Like I got a couple other things. Yeah. It's like if you're looking for a specific book, it's going to take you a long time. But if you're just looking for opportunity and you know enough about books to know what's worth picking up, you're going to find stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, you were on that website for a couple of hours before you found that book.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's not so much of like finding it every time. It just takes a while.
Yeah, you just gotta
like going through a collection, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it all pays off at the end, and it takes time, like he said.
I mean, you might look through 1,000 books before you find that one that jumps out at you, but when you find that one, it's your trophy. You've got your book.
And that goes by.
Makes it worth it.
Yeah, and that goes by when I watch YouTube videos, haul videos, people that buy stuff, and reason why they buy stuff. And not knowing that book is out there when it comes to like a back issue or whatnot, and you're like, oh shit, that's a badass Wolverine. I didn't know that Wolverine comic was out there. Like the 102.5, Wolverine 102.5. That's another one that's very hard to find. Scarce.
Which one's that one?
That one's I guess it was like a printed error or something like that. Like it's
what's the cover look like? Is that the claws?
I think no. It's 102.5. Let's see, it's where he's looking like sideways like this with his claws, but he's sideways, and it's a book that it's a scarce book, and that book's been on my radar for years, and I just don't want to pay the price that's out there for $180, $200 book. I want to wait till you find it at a website, find it in a comic collection, or find it at a comic store that they don't even know they have it. It takes time, and you eventually find it in time because
I'm still out there with my two. Go ahead.
Weapon? No, I said I have an LCS that buys collections like monthly. So my revenue there is that's where that same comic shop I found two of these and offered him $50 for both. And he got that collection like a week before COVID hit. So I went there right when they opened up, and I was digging through them boxes that were brand new, and I found I was talking. Let me see if I have it right here. Let me see if I have it right here. Yeah, and I found this one at the same comic shop about a month ago. And
I still don't have that damn book.
I was talking to Rich about this right here, and I thought it was Kool-Aid Stain. I thought it was Blueberry Kool-Aid Stain, but he mentioned something about it yesterday I didn't even know about.
Yeah, it's the retailer spray over.
And I was like, you sure? Because it's really bad. And he's like, yeah. And when I was digging through that book, the Marvel Spotlight 28 Moonlight, a guy knew that I grabbed it, put it in my stack pile. He says, "Did you grab that Moonlight?" I'm like, "Yeah." He said, "Oh." And it was listed as 50 half off. And I went to the guy, and I always buy books there, spend about 60, 70 bucks when I'm there with back issues and a few recent ones. And he did it for 20. And I think it's a reasonable price because this book online goes between $40 to $60 any time of the day. And it's spiking up little by little. And Jashir mentioned that, thank God, he was collecting and getting Moon Knight before it got really big.
One thing too, like we've been talking about comic shops this whole time, but my best finds are never at comic shops. Antique malls, used books like this right here. I found this at an antique mall. I was walking down an antique mall, and there was just a short box on the ground, and this was in it, not bagged or boarded. Pulled it out, paid $1 for it. Like, my best finds are from places where people don't specialize in comics. If you're hunting,
how
you gotta
random
go.
is that for that book to be at an antique mall?
Right? It was a whole box of stuff between like 2008 and 2012, and it was just like just flipping through, not bagged or boarded. It's just like, this is a mistake, but it's mine.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Rich, what else did you find?
What else have I found? I mean,
go ahead and drop bombs. Just drop them.
I got this for $55 at a flea market. I just walked into some guy's booth, pulled it out of a box. He's like, "Oh yeah, you can have it for $55." I'm like, "All right." It's got the worst wrap of any ASM 129 in the world, but it's still an ASM 129.
Yeah. 4.5. That's still like a $600 book.
Yeah, it's like a $600-700 book. And then I went to a used bookstore, don't specialize in comics at all, and I found this raw. It was $450, but this is still like a $1,200 book. So it's like, deals are out there. You got to look for them, and you got to think outside the box. Don't always go to your LCS. If you see an antique mall, go in and check it out. Spend 5 minutes walking through it real fast. You never know.
Yeah, and it makes perfect sense. And I got to shout out Uncanny Kyle Walker for stopping by, Triple C for stopping by. Like I said, like he said, I think that's something that we miss as collectors because we don't stop at those areas because we don't think they're gonna have anything. But Jesus, for the price
that's why you find stuff there because no one thinks to look there. It's like,
hey, look at J-Rod's head right now. That motherfucker is just like.
And this is the second time I've seen this. He showed it before we got on live.
He's like, all right, I got this flea market over here. I got this used bookstore over here. I got this antique shop. Damn, I never thought about it. Yeah, gotta hit that one up.
Wow.
Because if you go antiques, I think China would, like
I mean, so do most people. But I tell you, every antique mall I go into, there's that one little short box in the corner. There's also the crappy antique booth where it's like they got the Disney 4-color for $600 that's worth $5. You got to look for the one that's off in the corner somewhere that no one's really looking at.
That's true, the dust, huh? But no, that's something I never thought about until I think you mentioned it the other day, and you mentioned it before on I think one of your videos too. That where you find these books.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really go to comic shops if I'm honest, because the comic shops here aren't that great for deals, and I'm cheapskate.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I stopped going to a few comic shops because of how you felt. I think if I didn't have this one or two comic shops that I'm going to, I think I'd be in the same category where I have to start looking elsewhere. But since I've been lucky enough to dig into these comic bins that no one's going after, no one's digging in. They're all. That's the thing about recent issues and new stuff. People are so hyped on that I've been pulled off that a little bit, not completely, to buy back issues and took it through back issues. So that's what I've been doing. I've been finding a lot of gems in there that now, from my perspective, what you guys have taught me as a collector of what I've seen through haul videos and what I've talked to with you guys off air.
Yeah, so some of my finds, I wasn't fortunate enough to find my copy for $1, but this was $15. But there was
right
there. Hey, there's the price right there. That's how much I paid. It was at I think Atlanta Comic Con. It was inside of a long box. This book right here was at the LCS here. Huh?
Is that your second copy?
This one?
Yeah.
No, this is the same copy from I had before.
Oh,
this is $20 I found on the wall. No, actually, okay, let me tell you the real story. The real story, this thing had a $50 price tag on it. I talked them down to $20. No, excuse me, $30. So I'll pay $30 for this book.
Dang, that's another zero. Another zero. That's how much it goes for.
I found this book for $4. Now it's not a 9.8. It's probably not even at 8.0. It's more like after some surgical cleaning and pressing, maybe I could get a 7.0 out of this. But for $4, I mean,
yeah, I won one of those recently on a raffle for $12. So I was happy with that. I paid $12 shipped. That's the one I like right there.
I found this one in at a one-day con in Atlanta for $1. Just sitting inside a long box.
Those one-day cons are also really good a lot of the time because people just want to move books.
Yep.
This book.
Yes.
This book had a $5 sticker. I don't know why it's not like it, but I got it for $2.50. It was half for $2.50.
That's an Adam Hughes, no?
No, it's a DREW. That's
yeah. That's...
Fuck if I know. This is $1. I actually had two copies, but actually I have more copies, but I don't know where they are. Like I don't.
All right, J-Rob, you have a problem is why you don't know where they're at.
Yep, same thing here.
So they're out there now. I understand that there's a fuck ton of luck involved. You could take me off. I feel weird. Like, let me see everybody. All right. So there's a fuck ton of luck that is involved, right?
You strike out way more than when you find stuff.
Yes.
Way more.
Facts.
It don't go out there going to an antique shop or a half price books and expecting to find something that first day. All right. Exactly. If you come in with that expectation, then you already lost, and you probably lost like for a good minute because you probably get frustrated. Go in there, just whatever, and then just come back every few weeks, few months. J-Rod, show them what you found.
Man, I think I picked these up. Picked this one up Wednesday or Thursday on my lunch break for $2. The Rose Gallery cover. But half price books, I've kind of learned to go on Thursdays and Sundays. I don't know why. I don't know why I picked those days, but I feel like that's when they restock on their stuff there. That's just how I've noticed it. And I can tell, like when those little bins or aisles where the comic books are half price books, if they're full again, that means they just purchased somebody's collection. So I'll start digging and digging. But if it looks the same from the week before, I don't even bother, and I just check out of there and go home. So I feel like I'll be wasting my time.
Yeah, but you don't win every time you go there, right?
Oh no, you don't. You know, I found there's been a couple times where I found a couple copies of Amazing Spider-Man 361 for $2 for the first appearance of Carnage there a couple years ago. Like the first Red Hood, I found that about a year and a half ago at a half price books. That's 30 minutes away from my house. So I don't just go to my neighborhood half price books. I go to other half price books, stuff like that. Just if I have a day to kill, especially like what I usually do for work in December. I take most of the month off, and I'm hunting like once or twice a week in December, every week in December, right? Because I mean I'm at home, I got nothing else to do, so I'll hit up all these shops and all these half price books just to make a day out of it, just get out of the house. So
people are selling their collections to buy some presents. I'm going to be right there when they start selling them.
Yeah, but no, that's just to show you, like you said, like we said right now, as talking as a group, that they're out there. They're out there. Just got to be patient. You got to be patient, and like he said, it's not always going to be a guarantee. Like I said, I found those, and it's funny because I found those Avengers first appearance of Rogue I showed earlier. I was gonna buy that book for like $45-$50 on eBay, but I pulled back. I said, you know what, I don't need that right now. I'll wait till the time. About a week later, I go and I find 2 copies, and then I go again a week later. I buy another copy, and this one's like a near mint copy, and I paid I think $30 for it, $35 around that range. I end up saying, you know what, I'll get a third copy because when it's at that price, at the price that you know it's reasonable price, then you don't think twice no more. I used to, and I used to have buyer like why did I get it? But then again, it's like as a collector, I know that I don't beat myself in the past that much because I figure later down the line I'm gonna get it again because what just here and everybody says here, Kingdom Comics, J-Rod, they're out there. You just got it. Your time will come again eventually, and it's just a show. It's just to show that you just got to be patient.
And to further cement what J-Rod is saying is that get on a fucking pool list and stop crying, okay? If you go in there for a Venom and there's not a Venom, that's your damn fault, right? Yep. You knew Venom was going to be hot. You should have got on that pool list last week when you went there and they didn't have it. All right. Although, I don't really care for all that stuff. Just don't get mad if you could have done something about it yourself. If you could have prevented it, that's your fault. Nobody but you to blame. And I can tell you right now, like personal, like I don't really care for resellers. Where you at? You over here, right?
Other show, right there.
And over here too, right? Both of y'all. I don't really care.
This hobby's expensive.
But hey, like J-Rod, and I know Rich tells me all the time, it helps fund the collection, brings the money back into the collection. I get it, but then there's some folks that are more opportunistic and that hype books up for personal gain, right?
Yeah.
Let's go an example, right? Like Superman, Batman 22. You hype that book up. Everybody looks at you, congratulations. Next thing you know, guess what? Wow, everybody's looking at me. What kind of opportunity do I have right now? Right? Let's put up a raffle to include that book that I hyped up and make some money off of that opportunity that I made.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not crazy, but that sounds like something somebody would do. Not really sure, right?
Yeah. and that's wrong in my mind. That's wrong how to do things. But like you said, I'm not gonna say I'm not a flipper. I'm not gonna say that if I buy numerous copies just in case for trades. But later online, if I need money, I'll sell it if I have to help me fund whatever I'm collecting by all means. But I'm not gonna go there and say this is a book you need. This is the very first appearance of this. You're not gonna find this. Hard to find. You better get it now. I'm not gonna push the person. I'm gonna put it out there. They want to buy it, they buy it. They don't, by all means, it's your free will to do whatever you want. But I'm not gonna kind of force you verbally and mentally to buy that book. And a lot of people do that. And you talked about earlier, Tito, these guys pushing up books, hype. I don't know what they have in the background. That I feel bad for a lot of these newcomer collectors that are buying these books, not knowing what they're getting themselves into in a way. And I agree with, and that's where I think what Tito comes in, where well, us as collectors around, it's not our fault. They want to buy, go ahead. But I feel bad that whoever's doing that, they shouldn't, because it backfires. And it's backfiring right now. It's backfiring as we speak. So, but I think
you want to say something?
Yeah, like
I think Gomez had two great examples there, as far as some people buying multiple copies just to save as for possible trade bait, or possibly flipping it for something else they want to get in their collection. And then he had another example saying people are just pushing books on people to buy for other reasons. You know what I mean? Those are two different things. Two great examples.
Yeah, and I bought that. No, let me say something, Tito, please. That One Punch Man free comic book day book. Okay, that's for instance. I think I hit J-Rod on that one about 3-4 months ago. It's a free comic book day. It ended up being a $45 book, hype, a free comic. I flipped it myself. I'm not gonna lie. I said, you know, if someone wants to buy it on eBay, buy it. Took 4 or 5 pictures, showed what it looked like, condition. Probably within less than 5 hours, someone bought it while I was sleeping. They bought it while I was sleeping. It was a book that was pumped, top selling, because story wise, or it's hot. I used it to buy my lights 2 and my fullbacks. I used that money to buy it, but it's something that in my collection that I had that I didn't care about, that I was able to fund my collection. I'm not a flipper, but when it comes to a process, to what Drashir said, to fund something in my collection, because that's what made me buy my lights 2 and fullbacks, was Drashir telling me about my spawns being in my lights and fullbacks, my lights and fullbacks. It just presents way better. It's something that I love in my collection. It all depends on the situation.
I think so Rich Ray knows this story, but I was a reseller. And there's a fuck ton of money to be made. Like, no bullshit, there is. Let's be honest, there is, right? If you got the right book at the right time and you sell it. I will give you an example of, I think, what switched me off, and I felt extremely bad about it. And Rich, I think you know what book I'm about to talk about. Punk's #1, Hulk 181 cover swipe. Have y'all ever seen that book?
Yeah.
I know you've seen it, motherfucker. I know you have. J-Rod, you ever seen that book?
Yeah, I seen it.
I sold that book for $500. $500. Go on eBay right now and see how much that book's going for. Go for it. Nowhere near that money. I felt like a total douchebag for doing that.
Would you sell it what on a person or on a eBay or
on eBay? It was eBay.
That's where it comes to play, where you shouldn't, because they're the ones.
Somebody thought it was worth that much.
Yes, and you did not force that person to purchase it. You put it out there because you wanted to make money off of it, knowing that it's not good.
It was the first book, Richard, right? There was no listings of that book.
It was the only one. It was the only one. We had no idea what it was worth, and you just threw out a number, and it happened.
No. Excuse me. It was 500 OBO. That's what it was. It was actually 350 that I got paid for that. That book is going for like $12 right now. $12. And that's what I think when I see people that spend that kind of money now on these new books, because people are hyping them up. They're going to fall into that same category in 2 to 3 years when they look at their book and like, damn, I paid $150 for this book, and it's worth $20 now.
Yeah, and just to me, I've learned if it's a first appearance key, if it's a racial variant, it might have some legs, and if it depends on the artist. But if it's no reason, no first appearance, no story towards it, then it may want to pull back a little. Well, then again, here we go. Strange Academy #1. There we go. The 1 in 25, I bought it for $20. I got a slab 9.8. I really like.
You got under ratio, so that's good. I try to get all ratios under ratios.
Yeah, and look at that where that book goes for now. It's a $80 to $100 book. That 1 in 25 #1. Why? Because there's a lot of first appearance keys, and it may be worth something in the future. Who knows? But right now, because of the story and everything, it's taking off, and you never know. It's a gamble. But I would like to see, like you said, let's come back in a year and see how much that book's worth. See if you
example
price. It's
Red Goblin. How's that book going right now? How's that book
doing? No joke.
Hey, how many variants was that for? Like $797, $798, $99, and $800?
Connected covers, yes, everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
How you go to that book on eBay and it's like a $12 book right now. Of course, regular. I'm talking about regular first print cover A. It's like a $12 book.
Yeah. No, you're right. That book 2 years ago was nuts. 2 years ago. Yeah.
Is Dan Slott still writing ASM?
No, he left them. I think he's writing Iron Man or something right now.
After 801, he stopped. After 801, it was last book he did. He did a finale kind of like, it was a pretty good story too. It was nothing crazy, but it was a good finish.
So that goes back to Donny Cates and no, like once Donny Cates is gone, too much money's already been put in Noel. So Noel will never be a $100 book on eBay. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Bad thing about that is Cates will stop writing Venom with Noel, but he'll also do another book, another story, and he'll put in Noel on that story for some way. So that's why it's hard, because Cates will take these characters, if it's a Marvel-based story, and he'll imply them into his stories that he's writing. So you can say, he'll stop writing Venom, but he might throw him into, let's say, a Guardians of the Galaxy book he redoes, or like Hulk, he'll throw him in there. It's Spider-Man. Who knows? Because that's the only thing I know that Cates has been doing in his writing.
Well, also to keep it relevant, right?
Yes, correct.
Secondary market, right? Convention season, like gold label guys, right?
Yeah.
There will be books there that want to get signed, and you still if you keep Noel relevant, money's still going to be generated after the fact. Your passive income. So it all deals with money. The biggest thing for me is that Dan Slott left. Red Goblin essentially died. Like, you don't hear about that dude. From what I understand, he might make a comeback. I don't know. Don't care. I'm not a Spider-Man fan. I'm not a Goblin fan. I care less. But what I do know is that book was on fire, and now it's a $12 book.
Yeah, no. It just shows that, just know that being a collector over the years, you kind of know when to pull, when not to pull, when to just say, you know what, I need to back off. Well, I do as a collector. It just takes time. But then I got my boy, like you have Drashir, I have J-Rod. Me and J-Rod, we talk about comics, and I'm like, dude, oh shit. So I go out there and I go out there and I FOMO, and I look for our back issue book, and it just pushes you to like collect. And I'm nothing wrong against that. I enjoy it because it gives me reason to get out of the house and have fun with my collecting. And that's
I call these trophies, right? The books that I have, they're trophies to me, right? Rag said rag some shit. I forgot his 3 numbers, but Mr. 9.8, right?
702, like area codes,
He said it best, and the best way for me to say is there was a lot of sweat and backache getting books like these. So these are my own personal trophies that I just can't let go. That I look at them like, man, that was a good find right there.
Yeah.
I don't. It's the challenge of the hunt that keeps me going. You know, when I hear say a hard find, it's a ghost book, or it's a top 10 rising book. Those are the books I like hunting for. Or in the previous ad, people said them, and I find them, and I'm like, it's like a personal trophy for me. I won. I won versus everybody else is basically what. A little bit narcissistic, yes, I get it, but like I won, I did it.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, and there's books in there that I'll pay $5 that I can sell for $60, but I don't want to because the chance of me finding that book for $5 again is probably slim to none. So that what you're saying is I've earned to find that book. That it's like that Thor #1, Milo Manura. All right, no one. It's a $200-300 book. Okay, it's the slab is probably like about around that range. It's probably like God of Thunder #1, Mile Manor. And that's a hard to find book. I found that for $8 3 years ago. You know, 2 years ago, and I know that's a book that I saw. I was like, oh shit, that's a sick ass variant. Let it be known, it's just a hard to find variant, and I just enjoyed it, and I was just like, you know what. I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it because I heard about God of Thunder and I liked the art on it, so I picked up. Let it be known it was a book that a lot of people don't know about.
Auction. Look, I'm throwing motherfuckers under the bus left and right. I don't care. All right, so check this out.
You know what? Like, we're reaching like an hour and a half. We'll do another show and we'll talk about that shit.
Okay. All right.
You know, I'm just saying, General, because we've been on for an hour and a half, and I was like, you know, we'll have another subject so we can all get back together eventually.
Hey, Gomez is like, dude, I gotta work in the morning. All right, let it go.
I got at 3:50 in the morning, bro. Well, y'all be sleeping, relaxed. I'll be grinding. No, but I'll just, like, any final thoughts you guys want to say about the show, about the what we talked about before we end the show? J-Rod,
thanks for having me on, man. Great opinions and views from everybody else on the panel about comic book collecting, the hunting, thoughts, opinions, and what's going on within the community and stuff like that. It was awesome. An hour and a half went by fast, to be honest with you. But thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
Yeah, it went by real fast. What about you? Well, anytime, J-Rod. I'm glad you actually made it, brother. Thank you. Kingdom Comics, brother.
No. I appreciate the opportunity. Like, sincere, I appreciate it. I know I can be quite loud and opinionated about stuff. And I know J-Rod and Rich is like, what the fuck? Dude, just go home, bro.
Go work on your comic crew.
No, brother.
It's okay to tell me because I know that I get very opinionated. But thank you.
And what about you, Rich?
It was fun. It was great. We should definitely do it again at some point. All I have to say is collectors need to be patient. You can find anything. You just gotta be patient.
Yep.
Yes.
And I'll hit up Antique.
Yeah, and then like I said,
go to Antique Mall.
But no, I appreciate the people who were in the chat. Peanut R Man, Triple C, like I said, even King of Golden State made a stop by. I don't know if you're still watching. I appreciate you guys all stopping by. Everybody else who I mentioned, Pat, I appreciate you guys watching. We're gonna try to do this occasionally, every now and then when we all got time. But for my final thought is just collect what you love. Be smart about collecting and don't go on the hype. Take a pause and if you really want to read the story and you don't want to buy that price, you could get that shit for trade later down the line for half of what the book goes for that one issue you're missing. So if you really want to be smart about that, it's another route you can go to is go on trade paperbacks if you really want to read the story or even online. So if you can pay a fraction of that price too. And later on, when the price goes down or you find it at a reasonable price and you really want to pick up that book, go ahead. But like I said, I appreciate everybody, J-Rod, Kingdom Comics, and just cheers for stopping by on letting us talk about comics, and our opinions are based on what we think about situations when it comes to collecting. So other than that, appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Gomez, everybody's Broski. Peace. I'm out of here. Let's get this until the next time.
Later, guys.